clean the house that morning. And when she got determined, she got peppy. Richard went along with it as usual. He was kind of a pack rat, and Anne wanted him to get rid of some of his old junk. Richard took out the top drawer of his dresser, which contained no clothes, just knickknacks. Man knickknacks. Matchbooks, pocket knives, a box of rusty nails with some sort of emotional and symbolic value, a baseball, bandanas, swim medals, and a stack of yellowing letters. Letters from Anne. He sat down on the bed and began going through them when Anne walked in and said, "Richard, I thought I told you to..." She saw the letters and sat down next to him. Richard and Anne had met some 25 years earlier in Nowlands, the Big Easy, the Crescent City, the city that care forgot, home of crawfish, voodoo, and vampires. The perfect place for a medical hypnosis seminar. Two physical therapists, Richard and Anne. Anne, a fresh-faced Texas girl. Texas as in don't mess with. Richard, a college swimmer with the build to match. A bachelor with the mustache to match. Out on the town, put together in the same group at the conference. They'd already noticed each other from across the room. Anne was frugal, which led to Richard buying her a drink. She was enthralled with him. The way he meticulously wiped his mustache after eating oysters. How discreet he was with the wad of cash he kept in his money clip. He was calm and stern and smooth. He had what you might call man grace. Needless to say, they made out in the stairwell the night before the conference ended. Richard sent Anne letters back in Texas. Now, these weren't your run-of-the-mill letters. For instance, one was addressed to his brother Jeff, but sent to Anne. It was a warning to his brother. Big Al wanted his money, and Richard was going to have to go down to Florida and straighten things out with the boss, or else Jeff might get whacked. She knew it was too good to be true. This guy was mixed up in the mob. So, the next time they talked on the phone, Anne mustered up the courage and asked, "Who's Big Al?" Richard just laughed and laughed and told her to run the lead of a pencil over the back of the letter. She did, like a spy decoding a secret message. The lead revealed a simple phrase: "I love you." Anne sent Richard letters too, but more like stream of consciousness. Think text messages today about her toy poodle, Bee, about the lady at Jazzercise who isn't wearing any underwear, about seeing cute couples at the Eric Clapton concert and wishing Richard was there, about cooking cube steak for one and wishing it was for two. Initially, she signed the letters, "Yours truly, Anne," but in a couple weeks, she was signing them, "Love, the Vixen." Needless to say, they made plans for her to come visit him soon. Richard and Anne sat under the trees on some property that Richard had bought in the mountains. They were enjoying a picnic in Richard's signature style, fried chicken and champagne. The good kind of fried chicken that Loretta made at the gas station. Now, somewhere in between the chicken bones and the bubbles, Richard passed Anne a yellow slip of notebook paper. She opened it and it said, "Will you marry me?" 2 months later, only 6 months after they had met, long distance, being in each other's presence 4 times, Richard and Anne stood under the trees not far from where that picnic had taken place. Richard wore slacks and a blazer. Anne wore a cream-colored business suit. She'd just come from a job interview in the 80s. Richard had forged their wedding rings out of raw gold he had bought. Fellas, that is how it's done. Just the two of them, and the preacher bucks on the property where they are going to start their lives together. I walked into my parents' bedroom. Mother, you can see my floor. My bathroom is sparkling and they're just sitting there on the bed, reading letters and giggling. They haven't cleaned anything.